Hello, today you will be learning the basics of the highly recognized game of chess, which is filled with strategies, planning, and complex scenarios. Between the board, the players, and the pieces, I'm your host, Mike Squires. To start it off, the objective of chess is to capture the opponent's king with any and all pieces given to you at the start of the game. The game of chess is turn-based, so after you move one piece, you end your turn, and the process continues. Step 1 of learning chess is understanding the board. This is a chessboard. Each board has 64 squares, making it an 8x8 board. Half the squares are dark while the other half are light. Each board has a notation of A and H and 1 and 8. These symbols help a chess player record a game. Here is how the symbols line up on the board in a grid. First the letters horizontally, then the numbers vertically, as you just saw. The symbols are usually recorded during the game. Step 2 of learning chess is the placement of the pieces. The pawns run on rows 2 and 7. The rooks at each corner. The knights next to the rooks. The bishops between the king and queen and the knight. Here we have the queens that are always on the darker colored square, and next to that you'll always have the king. Step 3, we learn the functions of the pieces. First, we have the pawn. Though the pawn is the smallest, it can be the most complex to learn. The pawn may move 1 to 2 squares forward from its starting square. After that, it can only move 1 square forward. The pawn can attack straight on, and it may attack pieces adjacent to it. There are up to 8 pawns per player. Now we have the rook. The rook is a very valuable piece, as much as the king or queen. The rook can move up and down, left and right for as many squares as the board allows. The rook can't go over its own pieces unless as castling and attack the opposing pieces that stay on that square. There are 2 rooks per player. Here you can see the rook in action. Next we have the knight. The knight is the most important piece for setup foundation ready. The rook moves in an L shape that's 3 squares forward and 1 square to either left or right. This allows across a very long distance in only a few turns. There are 2 knights per player. Here you can see the knight in action. Here we have the bishop. The bishop isn't as valuable as the rook because each bishop can move any direction diagonally for as many spaces as the board allows, unless it reaches a piece of its own color or it captures the opponent's piece. The bishop can't leave its own colored square. There are 2 bishops per player, 1 on each colored square. Here we demonstrate how the bishop can move. Next, we have the queen. The queen is the most powerful piece in chess, yet is not most important. The queen can move any direction, forward, backwards, sideways, and diagonal for as many squares as the board allows, or if it captures a piece by moving into it and claiming its space a piece. The queen has full control in the center of the board, capable of a large range of moves. There's one queen per player. This is an example of all the places the queen can go. And here we have the king. Though this piece lacks its power, it is the most important piece of the game. The king can move in any direction, forward, backward, sideways, or diagonally, but only one square. The king may attack, but the king is the most valuable piece, so it can come with a risk. If you lose the king, you'll lose the game. There's one king per player, so make him last. Here we show the king in work. Doesn't go very far, but he is very important. You just saw an example of the play, but this is a possible scenario of the game called the Fool's Mate, in which you can win in 2 moves if your opponent allows you to happen. Checkmate. I'm Mike Squires, and that is how you play chess.